What's up, Leafs fans, and welcome back to Leafs Digest. We're live breaking down game number 72 of the Toronto Maple Leafs regular season, losing to the Carolina Hurricanes here tonight 5-3, moving to 43-20-9 on the season this year. So we'll break down this game. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter one here tonight, probably about half an hour, 35-minute stream here. So we'll run through what happened in this game, obviously answer everything that's going on in the chat, everything that's going on in this game here tonight, questions you guys have, gets all the super chats and stuff. We'll break all of that down, and then I do have some new animations here, so I want to make sure that you guys get an opportunity to see those. I think there's some cool stuff in there, and as you can see, for anybody who's a channel member, there is new emojis in the chat for you, as requested by the channel members themselves, asking for those specific emojis in the chat. You can see now we added the Eddie Shack and we added the Hall pylon being put into there. So those are up and running. If you are new to this channel, you have not hit subscribe yet, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 5K subscribers by the playoff time. We will keep doing these post-game live streams. We'll continue to run these through all the way into the playoffs, and then through the playoffs, we'll get everything going in there, and that is when the buzz starts to really pick up and the chat starts to get even more crazy than usual. So it'll be a fun time. But also, if you're here right now and you haven't hit that like button, please make sure to hit like this stream. Help us get out there. It helps bring more people into the chat, more people into the community. But we will get into all the new stuff, all the new animations I think you guys will enjoy. But I mean, a little tease, if you are a channel member, you can see your name across the bottom bar after the stats finish up for the game, and then every time a new channel member comes, this new animation will pop up in the screen. So you get to see that every single time a new channel member jumps on board here with the Leafs Digest channel. So we'll get into that. Let's get into the game here tonight, and as we do, we'll start with the very first super chat of the night. Thank you to Maxentius Decimus for that super chat. Max saying, "So Leafy, they give you hope, then snuff it out." Thank you, Max, for the super chat. And yes, this was a very Leafy feeling game here tonight. I mean, you look at the team stats on the night: 44 shots on goal against Carolina, a team that's very good at preventing shots against. You look at that first period, the way that they played, it was pretty terrible for at least the first 10 minutes, probably on for about 15 minutes there. And then right after that, it started to turn around and go into the Leafs' way. They took over that game. They started dominating, and it basically just continued to roll on through the remainder of the game, where the Leafs were very dominant. And I think a lot of that had to do with Auston Matthews and the play of Auston Matthews. He was a stud here tonight, an underrated thing that was mentioned on the broadcast. Matthews now jumping in, tying the team lead in goals for a guy who sat this season and basically sat here and people have said, oh, he doesn't look the same. He didn't for a long period of time. But over about the last 10, 15 games, Auston Matthews has really started to come into his own here. Another 2-goal performance here tonight, coming off a bunch of goals over the last little while. I mean, even looking at the game against Florida there, how dominant he was in that game. 2 goals there, going through back-to-back 2-goal games for Auston Matthews. You look at his games so far this season, he goes 2 goals, he can't score in the next one, so 2 goals, and then 2 goals again here tonight against a very strong defensive team with a pretty good goaltender in net in Kochetkov. Great stuff from Auston Matthews, the way that he's able to bounce back this season and his play as of late. He has been very, very, very good. Now, one thing that has been frustrating for Leafs fans, and it makes complete sense as to why, the play of Morgan Rielly and the decision-making of Sheldon Keefe. Look at this game here tonight. Morgan Rielly slots back into the lineup, not being rested anymore. You go 11-7 yet again. Gustafsson comes out of this lineup for some reason. You put Rielly back on the first PP, and you basically end up in a spot where we all sit here and say the power play yet again looks uncomfortable. It is a uncomfortable spot for this Leafs power play with Morgan Rielly back up there, a guy who just basically does not shoot the puck or move the puck the same way that Gustafsson does. And Gustafsson's a guy that we talked about in the last game as he played well at 5-on-5. He did. He played well at 5-on-5. He looked pretty good on the power play. And instead, you go with Morgan Rielly back in, 11-7 as you're about to go fly into Nashville and have to play essentially what is an afternoon game tomorrow against Nashville. I can't get behind this decision-making of Sheldon Keefe at this point in time. You're going with 11-7. You're resting defenseman Brody out, Gio out, Riley out to rest and get these guys' legs underneath them. Well, you're burning through forward legs. You're going with 11. These guys are being forced to play way more minutes on a nightly basis, especially when you get in spots where you're battling back late in games like this one here tonight against Carolina. You're going to end up putting Matthews, Marner, Nylander, John Tavares out on the ice a whole lot more to try to get things going, to try to tie the game up, to try to get goals. And these guys are just going to start burning through minutes. You're going to get tired with these guys. They're going to wear out. You're going to go into a back-to-back spot where traditionally you are tired rolling into those spots. And now you're going to have an even more tired group. I mean, even looking at Tavares, 20-40 tonight. Nylander, 22-36. Matthews, 22-19. Marner, 21-43. Like, these guys are playing tons of minutes. And for Keefe's decision-making at this point where you're getting closer and closer now, 10 games until the playoffs, to go with this and just continue to burn out forward legs, very, very, very confusing for me. I can't understand this. I think he's just galaxy braining the absolute crap out of this right now and starting to overthink every decision that he's making. It is really, really making no sense to me why Keefe is doing this. I can't understand this at all. Super chat here from Michael. Thank you, Michael, for the super chat. Michael saying, 91 played rubbish. All his shots can be saved by a normal high school goalie. Stupid coach should put a shutdown line after 3-3 to grab at least a point. I mean, I don't think the point matters at this point. You're looking at the Leafs. They're able to get further and further ahead on Tampa Bay there. Obviously, you would have liked the point here tonight to be able to help get that pass in terms of creating more of a gap with Tampa losing to Boston earlier today, but reality of the situation is it's not all that important to get points. You're in the playoffs, you know who you're playing, you're basically just trying to hold on to that home ice advantage, and I don't think playing for a point is what's most important to this Leafs team. You're trying to look at a spot where you can continue to try to win. I think that this comment about JT and his shots being able to be saved by a high school goalie is completely off the mark for me. I don't agree with that at all, truthfully. I look at the shots that he had. He had some pretty good opportunities in tight where he's taking some one-time shots. He's getting close looks at the net. I don't think that can sit here and honestly say, like, oh, those would be saved by a high school goalie. He has 9 shots on goal tonight. I think that that's a little bit offside there on the comment on John Tavares, so I'm not really in that same position. And the other thing that I would say when you're saying put a shutdown line after 3-3, you put your second line out there. Like, you should be able to rely on your second line to be able to get things done. You should be able to rely on them to be able to finish it out, close this out, be defensively responsible. And even in that spot, I don't really blame them. I think that Liljegren has played very poorly over about the last month and a half, maybe 2 months at this point now. He's the guy that the puck comes to there. He does get pressured while he's trying to clear the puck out of the zone, but it doesn't get out. It bobbles a little bit. Carolina is able to stay in the zone, continue to create opportunities, and then ultimately it's Morgan Rielly. He's puck watching on that play. He loses track of where Aho is, and ultimately it's Aho's wide open. You look around, Morgan Rielly's not sitting there, not covering anybody. So the honest truth is that comes down to the defense and where they were in their positioning and their lack of ability to clear the puck out of the zone in that late situation. I don't really agree that you're kind of like, oh, why would Tavares and the second line be out there? I think that that's specifically a spot. You're looking at the defense of Morgan Rielly and Timothy Liljegren. They have not been good lately. Morgan Rielly started to get things going. He sits out for resting reasons. He comes back in and he's bad again. This is what we've seen out of the guy. Like, and what we're seeing out of Sheldon Keefe, where he's sitting guys out at the wrong time. Timothy Liljegren, he was playing some of the best hockey, or probably was playing the best hockey of his career. going into the point where Sheldon Keefe decided he was going to scratch him and come out and make a comment about how he wasn't up to the standard. It looks like his confidence gets shattered in that moment where he basically comes back. He's now struggling a lot. He's struggling to make passes. He's struggling to make the right read. He's struggling to be in the proper defensive position at certain times. Like, Liljegren's play has severely dropped off at that point. You end up in a late spot. Putting those two guys out there in itself was probably a mistake by Sheldon Keefe. So that, to me, is where I start to go with this. And I think that Sheldon Keefe is making some huge mistakes defensively in how he's deploying these guys. As far as some of the comments, in terms of Justin Hall and people being mad about Justin Hall, I mean, yes, we do have the Hall pylon here in the chat, so you guys can fire away with those. I think it's all fun and games, but yet again here tonight, I think this is another game where I come here after and say that Justin Hall was fine tonight. I don't have any real issues with Justin Hall or anything he did or his play here tonight. I disagree with that. One thing that I do continue to caution is that every time Justin Hall goes on a run where he plays well, he has a significant drop in his game coming. It always comes around the corner. So I'm going to sit here and tell you, yeah, I think Hall played fine tonight. He wasn't exceptional by any means. He was fine. But I continue to caution that he's going to turn a corner and go the other way. And it is a little bit concerning that he's getting into this position right now where he is playing as well as he is at this current moment with 10 games left in the season, because this is a guy who drops off. This could come at the most inopportune time heading into the playoffs here. That is where some of my concern comes from. If you guys are watching right now, I see we're up to 126 concurrent viewers. If you're watching and you haven't hit subscribe on this channel, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 5K by the playoff time. The other thing we've rolled out there now is the channel membership. So if you guys have any interest in becoming channel members, you want access to some of the emojis that we have here, we were able to add more based on the fact that we did get more channel members. Every time we get more channel members, we can add more emojis to the chat, add more emojis that you guys can use. Then you can join and become a channel member. You should be able to see it if you're watching on mobile. Sitting in the screen there beside the logo, you will also be able to see it on the Leafs Digest homepage. That is completely optional, but if you want to do that, you want to see the little animation every time we add on a channel member, or you want to see your name scrolling across the bottom of the screen, you can become a channel member. Here is another super chat here. We'll get to this. Michael with the super chat. Thank you very much, Michael. Michael saying, Zach, the first time I seriously don't agree with them putting the forward and the D pair after 3-3. Can't make a vote in this chat tonight after 3-3, which forward lines and D pair they will put out. I mean, yeah, if you guys would like to, but Michael, like, again, sure, the D pair, yeah, okay, we can have a problem with that. Don't really have any issue with you taking a problem with the D pair that was put out there. You could probably look to McCabe, Brody, Gio as guys who should be out there ahead of Riley and Liljegren in that situation. But for me, I just can't understand how you can have any problem with Tavares, Bunting, and Nylander going out there. It's quite literally your second line. If you can't rely on them to go out there on the ice, what the hell are we doing? Like, this is just scrap the season at that point. If you're going to look at your second line and say, we can't trust our second line to go out there in a tie game. It's not even like you are now up one and you're trying to defend and hold on to a lead with a minute left, 2 minutes left. You're in a tie game with a few minutes left in the game. Like, I think that is a little bit ridiculous to sit here and say that you can't trust those guys to go out there. I do appreciate the super chat, but that's the honest truth of where I come from in this one, kind of looking at that line that gets put out. I just can't understand. I can't agree with you there. So I'm sorry, but that's where I'm at. Do Good saying, imagine being so diluted as a fan base that if Hall doesn't cost us a game, he had a good game. Holy, what a clown show. Yeah, I would kind of agree with that. Is basically the standard that he set for himself is don't lose games. And we can come here and say, yeah, he played fine. But it is what it is. That's the reality of the situation, and that's what we have to deal with right now. So we will continue to deal with that. That is the reality of where we're at with this Leafs team. Craig Harrison saying Keefe will for sure sit Lily after this game. I would put money on it. I would probably agree with that as well. I think that he's going to look out there at Liljegren and say, yeah, I can't trust you. That being said, like, Keefe makes some absolute bonehead decisions, like some completely brain dead decisions, honestly, at this point that nobody can completely understand. So who knows what's going to happen? Timothy Liljegren might play 30 minutes tomorrow night, for all we know, with the way Sheldon Keefe deploys these guys. So don't really understand what, or don't really have any sort of feeling of what Sheldon Keefe might do. Again, just want to remind people, if you haven't hit like on this stream, please make sure to hit that like button. Try to at least get this to 50, 135 people watching right now. Get us to 50 likes here on this stream. That would be greatly appreciated if you guys could do so. No reason we can't get to 50. 138 people now watching the stream. So hit that like button. But I did promise you guys we have new animations. It's in the back of my head. It's something I keep wanting to get to here. I'm excited to show you guys, hear what your thoughts are on the way that these new animations. I ramped them up a little bit. They're a little more modern or clean for the stream. So with that being said, let's get to our Austin Matthews play of the game.
Holy mackerel, what a play!
All right, there you go. We'll keep them short. You just roll through those. You don't want to do too much. Get in, get out of the animations. People want to hear what the topic is, but now we have a new play of the game animation in there for people. So hopefully you guys enjoy the new animations that we've added on. Hopefully these are something you guys like. If there's new segments you guys want added, we can definitely figure out something like that as well. But I did talk about the fact that we're going to figure out how to get the rink in here. Looks like I've been able to figure that out, so this will be something that we can add on going forward, where we can continue to break down plays and stuff that we see from this team throughout the course of a game by adding on this new rink into it. So you can bring up a whiteboard and stuff. But yeah, appreciate you guys' support of the new animation there. I do see Meg saying I like the old animation. I'm sorry, Meg. I'm sorry. But we ramped it up. New one there. We do have a new grades of the game one coming up a little bit later as well. All right. Play of the game. I think this might be, what is this? 4 games in a row now that we're going to end up having to give it to this guy. Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to do it. Scratch that. I'm not giving the play of the game to that. I'm giving the play of the game to the Calle Järnkrok goal. Matthews talked about his release. He talked about how deceptive it is, how quick he's able to get it off, how pretty of a release Calle Järnkrok has. That was an incredible shot by Calle Järnkrok there. Stepping into that one quickly, getting it off so deceptively and getting it upstairs so fast. Him stepping in and being able to get that shot off, I think, was an incredible shot, an incredible goal. Then you see Austin Matthews on the bench getting fired up over the whole thing. I think that was pretty sick of Calle Järnkrok and everyone getting buzz for him. Gets 18 goals now on the season, coming in at $2.1 million. Look, here's one thing I'm going to say for Calle Järnkrok in the way that he's played this year. He is much, much better in the top 6 than he is in the bottom 6. I think that that's somewhere he should be come playoff time. I think he can be an effective player in the top 6. And I think that there's ways that you can balance out this lineup by utilizing a guy like Järnkrok in your top 6 to be able to rotate other guys through the lineup and put other guys in other spots to make tougher matchups. And what I mean by this is, if you can find a way to put Järnkrok into your top 6, maybe you get Nyes in here at some point, maybe you can get Bunting into the top 6 as well, and then you can find a way to push Nylander into a third line spot with O'Reilly. You're going to have crazy depth for this team that is going to be insanely hard to match up against. It is going to be very, very, very difficult for the other team to match up against any type of third line that involves Ryan O'Reilly and William Nylander playing on it in a third line spot. Calle Järnkrok has played incredible this year. That goal that he scored was a sick shot. It was a great great release that he had. He's been an incredible offensive player. For him to continue that here tonight, him to continue to contribute offensively in that role, be able to continue to get things rotating around, create offensive opportunities with Matthews and Marner. I mean, look, I think he deserves to be in the top 6. I think it allows you the opportunity to create more depth down the lineup with 3 centermen all the way through, having Nylander down maybe in your third line role, and you don't have to play them like a traditional third line. You can play it more even minutes all the way throughout, and you could have 3 very, very, very solid lines here going into the playoffs. But my play of the game is going to go to the Calle Järnkrok goal, because I think that was an unreal shot by him, and it just continues to perpetuate what these guys are talking about with this narrative of Calle Järnkrok, his offensive contribution, the way that he's been playing, and how deserving he is of the ice time that he's getting in the role that he's being put in. Super chat here from Joe Hill. Thank you, Joe, for the super chat. Joe says, sometimes you're the better team and still lose. Bad play by the D tonight effed us up, but the scores stepped up. Great to see, and I'm not terribly disappointed. I would agree with that as well. It's especially great to see Matthews, and that's kind of where I'll go with this, especially off of what Joe's saying, is like an honorary mention for a play of the game is going to come on the Matthews first goal that he had, because I look at that one. I look at his awareness stepping in, the way that he created chances all night tonight, and then to be able to bury that one after he had like 7, 8 shots on goal, 9 shots on goal maybe at that point it was, steps into the slot and just rips that 5-hole. Like, that is so hard to get to, so hard to stop because of how fast it comes off of his stick, how fast that shot is, and how deceptive his release is walking into the slot, coming into basically an area where no one was for the Carolina Hurricanes. That, to me, was a great, great shot by Matthews, and I'm going to give that to him because that was another situation that I look at for him where he basically steps in and he steps up. And then late in the game, scoring that tying goal, Matthews really stepped up, and his play as of late has been incredible. I see Meg here asking about becoming a channel member and how to do so. If you're watching on mobile, there should be a button that you can click beside the Leafs Digest logo, the channel name that's there. I think that there's a little join icon that you can click. I think if you just click join, you should be good to go. Good to be able to get involved in the channel membership. And then I would also look at if you wanted to go to the homepage for the Leafs Digest YouTube channel, you should be able to find a way to do so on there to be able to join in. All right, couple other things here for tonight. That first power play, the Leafs had 6 shots on goal. Now, those all primarily came from the forwards working down low and being able to get shots off, being able to create opportunities. So that's one thing where I look at it and say, like, yeah, Riley doesn't really contribute or do anything in that bottom role, in that power play role, because he's not a guy who's going to shoot. He's not going to create anything. He's not really a threat. It's all still coming from the guys who are your big name players, your big boys. But reality is you're able to create a bunch of opportunities on the power play against an incredible penalty kill and a team that is very good, again, at shot suppression. That is kind of where I'm at. That's where I'm at. If you guys are enjoying the stream right now, I see Mark Daigle saying, I love this channel. I appreciate it, Mark. If you are enjoying this, please make sure to hit that like button. Once you hit that like button, when we get to 50 likes, obviously, as you guys know, the salts come out. So if you want to see the salts tonight, hit that like button, and we'll get those going. But let's continue to break stuff down here in terms of what went on with this team. Look, the third period, I kind of just chalk up as some defensive situations where you kind of get out of place, you get a little bit complacent and allow goals against in those spots, because you played very well for the entirety of the second period. I think they played very well for about 98% of the third period, and then that was about it for the team here tonight. I think that was the reality of the game, the flow of the game. It kind of got away from them for a couple shifts in the third period, dropped off a little bit, and then it really just it fell apart. And I see here another super chat. It's going to get into this. So it goes along with what we're saying. Joe Hill saying, watching Riley tonight, I'm not entirely convinced that he's healthy. Beginning to think he's hurt, actually. Joe, thank you for the super chat. Look, I don't know if he's hurt or not. If he is, I think this is completely reckless by himself, the training staff, and Sheldon Keefe to continue to play him at the rate that he's being played at right now. Because if he is hurt, and I'm not saying you're wrong, I think that if he is hurt, this is ridiculous for him to be playing and for Keefe to be rolling out 7. You have 9 NHL defensemen. You're telling me there's other guys who can't fill a spot, can't fill a role, and be able to go out there? That is absurd to me. Like, actually absurd if Sheldon Keefe is making the decision to continue to go with 7 and continue to play Riley if he is hurt. He might be, and maybe Keefe is just trying to get him to play through it so that he can start to battle things out and get on the right track. But if that's the case, like, this is an embarrassment from Sheldon Keefe and the way that he's deploying these guys and putting guys out there, because that should never, ever, ever be the case. Like, we should not have to sit here and look and go, wow, we're playing 7D and one of them is hurt, knowing the guy is hurt. Take the guy out of the lineup. Take the guy out of the lineup. All right. As I mentioned, we're going to do a little bit of a shorter stream here tonight. I apologize, but 1 like away from the 50. So hit that like button if you are enjoying it. Once you get the 50, you know what it means. Bring the salts back out. So if you get to 50 there, we'll hit the salts for you guys here on the stream. But I did mention we have some new animations. Another new Joe. I didn't even know you could do that. Joe, thank you very much. There you go. The channel membership. Joe gifted 5 Leafs Digest memberships. Joe, thank you very much. I didn't even know you could do that, so I appreciate that. Thank you very much. That is pretty cool. But 5 Leafs Digest memberships gifted from Joe there. Thank you very much. That is pretty cool. Thank you, Joe. I really, really appreciate that. That is pretty cool. I didn't even know you could do that. Unreal. Thank you. All right, there you go. There's the 50. So before we get into the grades and we show off this new animation, you guys know what it means. It is the salts, and we'll see some pain. You know what? Maybe I'll do, because the Raptors kind of stink. They might not be in the playoffs. Maybe I'll see if I can get Goody involved back here for the playoff streams and just get straight into the fan reactions of a playoff game, how he's feeling. But yeah, Joe, you know what? This one goes out to you, because I didn't know you could do that. As Craig Harrison is saying, this is like a Twitch channel now. Yeah, I didn't even know. Oh, wow. Gifting out memberships. There you go. So a membership given to Mark Deigel, a membership given to Luke Davidson. That's pretty cool. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. But this goes out to you guys. I'll add you guys into the channel members scrolling across the screen. But thank you, Joe. All right. Whoa. Joe, again. Another Leafs Digest membership gifted. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. Grades of the game, and we'll wrap this one up. We'll figure this one out and get out of here. Mark Sherry gifted a membership by Joe Hill. Nice. Here we go. Grades of the game.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
All right, what do we think? New grades, new play of the game, new animations there. Hopefully you guys like those. I'll run that one back here if you guys didn't catch that, if you didn't hear what it was, maybe you didn't see it, maybe you weren't looking for a second. We'll run it back real quick.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
All right, what do we think of that? What do we think of the new grades of the game animation? Give me your thoughts on those. And then also, in the chat, give me your thoughts on what grade you would give to the game here tonight. Also, here, Joe, another 5 Leafs Digest memberships gifted here tonight. Thank you, Joe. Really appreciate that. That is incredible. That means a lot to myself for you to continue to do that. So I really appreciate that. Hopefully you guys in the chat appreciate it as well. You guys should get access to all of the emojis that are in there right now. And I think that with all these channel memberships now, we can fire up some new emojis. So we'll get that going. Maybe before tomorrow's game, we'll have some more stuff. But we'll get some of those. We'll add maybe some more animations, but I see there now Sean added as he was gifted a membership by Joe Hill. So pretty cool stuff. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. Yes, Joe making it rain. Thank you, Joe. Thank you. All right. Grades of the game here for tonight. You know, I have a little bit of a hard time grading this one because of what the end result was. I have a tough time with where Murray was at. I think I would almost go to an A-, but I think that might be it's tough looking at some of the statistics flat out in front of you here tonight. And I look at the way that Liljegren played. I look at the way Riley played. Like, to me, that it just wasn't good enough from those guys. I think there was a little bit of a drop in their play over the last couple of months. We've seen Riley started to get things going. He gets sat out for rest, and then he comes back, and all of a sudden it just hasn't gone his way yet again. Like, it's really fallen off for him again here, where we are coming on here and complaining about what's happening with this Leafs team and with the way that he's playing. You also look at the team defensively. When he jumps back in, they look differently. They play differently. It feels different when he's in the lineup. I think this was a really good effort, though, aside from what was the first period and a breakdown by Riley and Liljegren in the third period after it was tied 3-3. Like, I truthfully would go like a B+ / A-. That's kind of where I'm at, where it's like that middle tier, middle ground spot where it's like, you know what, this was a very, very, very good game here tonight all around. In terms of your ability to battle back after going down 2-0 in the first period to a Carolina team that is a stingy defensive team. They hold on to leads very well. They play very strong defensively. They are able to stop a lot that way. And you battle back. You find a way, and you do so on the back of Austin Matthews, who has 15 shots in the game. I believe he tied a Leafs single-game franchise record dating back 30 years to Dave Andreychuk, who had the same amount in a game. Matthews was just going off here tonight, shooting everything on net. This is a man on a mission, and he basically carried the Leafs back into it because before he had even scored his first goal of the game, he was creating so much. He was creating so many opportunities, so many chances. I look at him. I think he played great. I think Marner played great. Yarncroke, again, good game. I like what Achari continues to do. I think McCabe played a solid game. I think even Hall played a solid game. But then I even look over to Matt Murray. .852 save percentage. He allowed 4 goals on 27 shots. There's not too many that I really look at with him and say, wow, that was brutal. I would kind of get to a point here where I would probably say that with Murray, that last goal, he kind of threw out a big rebound into the slot. Maybe it was just a hard one for him to be able to battle with. I'm not a goaltender. I never played goalie, so I don't have that kind of read on things and where it was. But yeah, I just look at that last one. It bounced out into a juicy spot. The other one was the one where he's beaten over the glove by Burns. I mean, look, it was a beautiful shot, but the reality of the situation, Murray struggled with his glove hand all year. It's been something that he's been easily beaten on that side. It needed to be better from Murray. It wasn't. .852 save percentage is not good, especially in a night here where your team is putting up a significant amount of shots the other way. Kochetkov even still walks away from this one. 41 saves, a .932 save percentage. Like, he's getting it done stats-wise there. I look at McCabe's game. I think he played well. So there was good things, but I think the first period, you came out really, really slow, and then you go into that third period. That response after the 3-3 tie, that was a bad response by the defensemen that were out there in that spot. So unhappy about that. But I do want to get to here, Joe Hill has now gifted 20 more memberships. He's just dishing them out to people in the chat. Joe, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Hopefully you guys in the chat appreciate it. I also see that there is Jeff McKay is now a Magic member tier. So Jeff, thank you very much. Everyone who's now a channel member after tonight's stream, for tomorrow, you will be on the list, on the screen, included in this. You'll be scrolling across the screen. You'll be able to see your name there included in the stream after all the stats for the game go by. So that will be something continued to be included. But before we get out of here tonight, guys, I do want to remind everyone, if you are looking for a new or a used car, if you are looking for repairs or your own car guy, someone you can talk to, ask questions to, someone who's going to help you out and deal with you personally and treat you as a personal customer, a client, like they're going to have a personal relationship with you, go to the Queensway Automotive Group website. You can find the link to there in the description. It is a specific landing page from the Leafs Digest channel. You head on over there, tell them Leafs Digest sent you. You can ask them questions if you are looking for that car. You are looking for a new car, a used car. You're looking for different brands of cars. You need yours fixed. You need repairs done, or you're looking for new parts. Make sure to head over to the Queensway Automotive Group. The link in the description. So check them out. Check that out. Mark the Tech guy saying, I would like to be a channel member. Mark, you can join as a channel member on the main page of the Leafs Digest page, or you can also do so. It should be able to be found here on the screen. But Joe Hill right now just absolutely dishing out channel memberships. Joe, I don't know. Have you dished out all the ones that you can there? Is that all the ones that you gifted here? I don't know what happens if I end the stream and you haven't given them all out yet, but thank you, Joe. I'm seeing everyone added on here now. Bunch of people, channel members on the Leafs Digest channel. Michael, channel member. I'm looking at David Gerard, channel member. Mark Sherry, channel member. RJWI, channel member. Like, thank you guys for that. Joe, thank you so much for doing so. But I hope you guys enjoyed the play of the game animation. I hope you enjoyed the grade of the game. Let's run these back again. I want you guys to see.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Official grade of the game, B+ for me. I think in the chat it came in about the same. Everyone kind of had about the same grades. I saw some C-, some Ds. I think those might be a little bit aggressive, but you are all entitled to your own opinion. So if that's how you feel, then that is how you feel. I completely understand. And obviously, the Awesome Matthews play of the game.
Holy mackerel, what a play!
Holy Mackinac, what a play is right. Calle Jarnkrok, a snipe from the top of the slot. What a shot, what a release. That guy continues to roll, continues to be just an absolute animal in terms of what he's able to create offensively, playing in that top six. I think he deserves to be in the top six. He should be in the top six of this lineup moving forward. That is where he plays the best. But that is about all for tonight's stream. I do also see here Sean, channel member, Dyslexic, channel member. So thank you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you enjoy the emojis. Tomorrow we will be back. We will add more channel emojis for you all to check into and be able to add on so that you guys can send all the different emojis. But if you do have requests, make sure to join the Leafs Digest Discord. The link is in the description to do so. You can also send comments on this stream after the fact, on this video after, and we can get we can add specific emojis if you guys are looking for. So thank you guys so much for watching this stream here tonight. Joe, thank you so much for all the channel memberships. That is absolutely incredible. I really, really, really appreciate that so much. So thank you for that. Yes, everyone turned green there. But thank you guys for tuning into the game here, or tuning into the post-game stream here tonight. Thank you for showing support on this channel for the channel memberships. Joe, thank you for gifting all those channel memberships. Thank you to everyone who tuned into the stream here tonight. The Leafs losing Game 72 of the regular season to the Carolina Hurricanes 5-3, moving to 43-20-9 on the season. But we will be back after tomorrow's game against the Nashville Predators. Game starts at 6 p.m. Eastern time, so stream will start around 8:45. We can get a longer stream in tomorrow night. We'll take calls. Keep believing.